Alright, that was pretty quick and simple. At least I didn't have to take all kinds of stuff apart. Cleaned up really fast and quick. Looks like the battery's brand new, which I suspected. It was at almost 100% charge when I fired it up at the pawn shop. And I was like, that's pretty impressive. You know, and you can tell by looking at it, this has been recently installed. So whoever had this thing definitely put a new battery in it not that long ago. And we are going to check the cycle count on that later. And we do have a crucial SSD that they've also put in here. But it's a little on the small side for what I need. So I would just assume get rid of it. So go for a bigger one. Alright, so we're maxing this thing out to 16 gigs. Now I use this Timetech RAM. It is really good stuff and very inexpensive too. It only cost me $30 and it was on sale like a few bucks off, but it's only $30 for 16 gigs. And I thought, well, that's pretty crazy cheap. I like that. I like cheap. Crucial wanted 80 and I was like, not gonna happen. Now, I'm sure some of you are probably freaking out a little bit because I did not disconnect the battery. Well, here's the deal. As long as you've made 100% sure that you actually turned off the power first, you don't have to worry about it. So, you're only changing RAM and a drive. So, alright, now before I go and put all the screws back together, I want to make sure that everything goes well on the boot up. So I'm just going to put this on for a second, flip it over, and I got to grab my scoop stick. So I am putting Catalina on this thing. Like I said, Windows 10. I'm going to get this process started at least, and we'll come back after and see how everything else goes. But now I should be able to just hold down the Option key for this. Alright, install Mac OS Catalina. Definitely, yes. Okay, I'm going to stop the film here just to save on time. When it's up and ready to be formatted, we'll continue on. Alright, time to go to Disk Utility and format this drive. And we have our Kingston drive up top, 480 gigs. And we're going to erase. And we're going to go APFS. And we're just going to call it Macintosh HD. And we're going to erase. Good to go. And format it out and ready to go. 479.89 gig. And we quit our disk utility. Install, continue, continue, agree, okay, Mac HD, install, and we'll see you when this is all done. Alright, we're back. We got Catalina installed, updated, got a bunch of programs to put back in. Of course, you do have to re-download GarageBand and iMovie after your initial, very first time ever having the OS going. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to redo the thermo paste on this thing. I've got the fan cranked at 4,000 RPM out of 6,200, and my CPU cores are around about 48, 49 degrees, sitting doing nothing. And so I think thermo paste is definitely in the plan, so I'm gonna have to order some of that Arctic stuff, and then I'm gonna have to look at some videos on how to actually pull this apart the easiest way possible to remove the motherboard, because it's not, you know, simplified, of course. You got to pull the whole motherboard out, flip her upside down, and then you can get at everything. So that'll be a fun little project down the road. But in the meantime, it is running fine and stable, so no problems there. Now, as far as the battery goes, I do have a program installed here someplace. And it's called Battery Monitor. And our charge capacity is 97%. Current charge rate is at 98%. And we've got 330 cycles on the battery. So it's not a brand new battery, but it's pretty close. And still having 97% capacity. That's actually really good. So it's definitely going to last me for quite a while for this battery. Not a big deal there at all. What am I getting now? Why am I getting this? Oh, it's probably part of that battery thing. Check out our brand. No. Yeah, this app has some ad stuff that pops up on it. I have to try and find one that doesn't. Anyways, let's do an internet speed test. I'm hooked into my 5 gigahertz band, so we'll try that first. Now, funny thing about the old Wi-Fi cards in these books, they're not exactly friendly for connecting to a modern day gigabit router. So it's kind of good I still have my 300 megabit router that's actually tied into that router, because otherwise I wouldn't be connecting to the internet other than straight out Ethernet, which that I could do off the modern day router because Ethernet's Ethernet. So anyway, we've got about 64.2 on the download so far. And we're looking like we're going to pull 16.1 upload. Pretty impressive. So speed is actually quite good. Got to hand it to it. It definitely has a good network card. The last 2012 MacBook Pro I had that was a mid-2012, the Wi-Fi card kind of really sucked in it. And it was kind of like, ugh. This is going to be better, you know. But yeah, because of password security type, I can't hook into my D-Link router, and so I'm going to have to go into the D-Link router and see if I can get that security encryption to work as a dual thing, because I do need that encryption, the newest encryption for my newer laptops and my Mac Mini. Well, not my Mac Mini, actually, it's on Ethernet, but for my newer laptops. So I can switch it over that it can run either or. Then I'm fine for my regular HP and my gamer system. And then I could get this onto the gigabit and then ditch that other router that's attached to it, which is what I'm hooked into right now. So, but pulling really good, impressive speed, I don't mind that at all. That's pretty decent. So, I do have some updating to do, obviously, on GarageBand. I haven't even fired it up yet. So I got to do that, reset up Minecraft, obviously. That's going to have to be done. And a few other programs still left to install. But I'm slowly getting there. And, let's see. Oh, I know what this is. It's my stupid right click isn't activated on my computer here. So, mouse, secondary click. There we go. Now I can empty the stupid trash can. I actually hooked in my Apple mouse here just because trackpads are a pain in the butt. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, we're doing pretty good there. That should have automatically deleted. And yeah, so other than the temperatures, we got to do something about that with the thermo paste. But right now, even at 50 degrees, 52, 55, you know, I do this to get 4,000 RPM to get that lower like that. So this is what's telling me I'm definitely going to need some thermo paste on the processor. Easy enough. Now, according to Apple specs on everymac.com, this thing came either with half a gig to 3/4 of a gig of video RAM. This one actually has 1.5 gigs in it. So, kudos. Be perfect once we get Windows 10 going, which will be my next project. Got to get that set up with Boot Camp and continue on. So I figure I'm going to use about 180 gigs worth of my internal drive here just for Windows 10, and then I'll use the other 200 for the Mac side. But even with what I have installed now before updating GarageBand and a few other things, we're only using like 27.91 gigs, which is not bad. It's pretty decent actually. But as soon as you fire up GarageBand for the first time, other than verification that sometimes happens, oh, in this case, no. So we got about an hour to download 2.15 gig. It won't take that long. And then I got another humongous file that's got to come down. So I'll do that, and then I'll have all my sounds up to date for that, and I'll have GarageBand going rock and roll. So that is our MacBook Pro 2012. Now, as far as the RAM goes and the drive, it's a Kingston 480 gig drive. And speaking of which, I don't think this should interfere when I'm downloading, but let's find out. So on our write speed, we're looking at 446.9 megabytes per second, and just over 515.6 megabyte per second, which gives us everything check marked into the go to 4320p at 25 frames per second. Everything else that's a go ahead is going to be 8K DCI 24. Absolutely no issues there. We can still do up to 12K DCI 24 on Blackmagic Raw. Yeah, ProRes, forget it. And H.265 is, I don't know what the dash marks mean in this thing. I've never actually figured that out, but whatever. Anyhow, that's all that. That's that. Works good, good little drive. And now I've got the 275 gigger that came with this thing that I'm probably just going to sell for as cheap as possible. Ditch it, you know, kind of thing. But, because I don't need it for anything. It's too small for me. Anyway, that's what we got for you folks, and that's the upgrade. Pretty simple and easy to do. Now, Catalina is still good for the internet right now. Easily until the end of the year, no problems. I did not see the latest security update come down for the last part for Catalina, so I'm thinking Apple has not released that yet. So we should be good for probably about 1.5 years tops before this thing is going to start kicking us off websites, and then it won't be any good for the internet anymore unless you Hackintosh your Macintosh with the next OS that you can actually get to by doing that with an unsupported OS on a Mac. But I don't think I'm going to be bothering with that anyways. I'll just leave it off the internet at that point when the time comes and use it without the net, because I don't need the internet on this thing to begin with, other than for, you know, downloading stuff and everything, so no big deal. Anyways, that's it. That's all. Catch you on the next one.